So you're here because you want some Dragon Link and Dragon Cash strategies. Welcome to Storytime Slots, guys. I'm Vahagan. I play these slot machines from time to time. Dragon Link is probably the most popular slot machines right now that people play the most. You go to a casino, what do you see? People sitting on Dragon Link machines. They're fun, they're exciting, and I have fun playing them. And you probably do too, but you're here. I know why you're here. You want to hear some Dragon Link, Dragon Cash, slot machine strategies from someone that plays them all the time. Well, I'm that someone that plays them all the time. My favorite slot machines by far, okay? They're not the most advanced, they don't have the best graphics, but I just love them, and you probably do too. In this video, we're going to go over some of the Dragon Link strategies that I use. So I'm going to give you my point of view of what I've experienced using these strategies from time to time. And like and subscribe to my channel, guys, because we will be playing and implementing these strategies while I play. I put out a video the other day with $100, and we're going to go over that strategy right now, the one I used in that video first. I like to call this the $5 strategy. What's the $5 strategy? On a low-level Dragon Link machine, 1 cent to $2 denom machines, where the major is maxed out at 1,000. That strategy I use all the time. That's my go-to, and I like it. I like the results I get. It doesn't work all the time, but this is how it works. You start off with $100, put it in the machine. You start with five $5 bets on dollar denom. If nothing hits, you switch over to 1 cent denom and you bet max bet, which is another $5 spin. 5 of those, see what happens. That doesn't work, you go over to 10 cent denom and you bet $5 spins there. That's 2 times multiplier. Okay, what's a multiplier? The 5 buttons in front of the slot machine where you touch by the spin button. 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x. Those are multipliers on the same denom. So where were we? 10 cent denom, $5. Notice a trend here. I'm betting $5 each time. 10 cent denom, that is the second multiplier, the 2x multiplier button. That's a $5 spin on 10 cent denom. Try 5 of those. That doesn't work. Go over to 5 cent denom. That's a little tricky because there is no $5 spin there. There's $3.75 and $6.25. So you can either or bet the 3x multiplier or the 5x multiplier. I would do the 3x multiplier because $3.75, it's a little under $5. $6.25 might be a little too much. So do 5 spins there. If you hit something within that betting pattern and you don't run out of money, then rinse and repeat. That's simple as that. Rinse and repeat. You hit something, you get a bonus, whatever, on these $5 spins. If it's a hand pay, I hope it is, but if it's not, if it's under a hand pay, if it's a $200 bonus, it's a $300 bonus, rinse and repeat. Start with the $5 again, 5 spins, $5 minimum bet, then go to 1 cent, max bet, then go to 10 cent times 2 multiplier, 5 cent, and so on and so forth. Always refer to this video if you kind of not taking notes and you forgot what I'm saying here. And keep in mind, guys, again, these are not 100% strategies. These are just some strategies that I use playing Dragon Link, the slot machine that we all love to play. Okay, that's the $5 strategy. All right? And every time you make a profit, I'm not saying rinse and repeat all the time. Once you feel comfortable that you made some money, cash out and either go home or change machines or do whatever you want. That's the $5 strategy. The second strategy, the blank out strategy. Let's say your bet is $250 on whatever, $250 on pennies, $250 on dimes, whatever the bet is. Okay, it could be anything on Dragon Link. 3 spins. If you blank those 3 spins, okay, you blank the 3 spins, or you make under the bet amount, okay? You're betting $1, 50 cents. That doesn't count, okay? If you blank out or make less on 3 spins in a row, it's time to move, change bets, or change denoms. Not change machines, stay on the same machine. Let me give you an example. You're betting 10-cent denom 250, $2.50. You try it 3 times in a row, you don't hit anything. Change denom, change bet, do it again. Now, if you hit something 250 and above, because that's your spin amount, you stay on the bet, you stay on the denom. Don't change denoms or bets until you hit 3 blanks in a row. Okay, then you change denom, try 3 bets on another denom, another bet amount. Just keep changing denoms. This strategy is popular, and a lot of people have had success on them, and they feel good doing this strategy. I like this strategy. It's fun. The next strategy is betting in the scale each time, changing the bet amount each spin. Give you an example. 50-cent spin, 1 penny denom is the minimum bet. You bet once. You don't hit anything, you bet twice. Then you go back to one times minimum. Then you go back to 2 times multiplier. Keep going back and forth, changing bets. You're not changing denoms. You're changing bet amounts, the times multiplier. Each spin, 1 spin. So minimum bet, X2, X3, X5, back to X2, X3, minimum bet. So every spin, you're just changing. A lot of popular slot influencers, you see them using this strategy. Okay? We're doing, for example, $10 spins, $20 spins, $30 spins. 1 spin. Next spin, they change the bet amount. Next spin, they change the bet amount while staying on that same denom. I call that the scaling strategy. You know, you're moving up in the scale, you're moving down in the scale, and you're waiting to hit something there. The next strategy, when you hit a bonus, any amount, any dollar amount, you hit anything. You know, it could be an $8 bonus, $10 bonus, $500 bonus. Once you hit that bonus, you cash out the ticket and you insert cash in the machine. I've seen that all the time. The cash in, cash out Dragon Link strategy, where players accumulate all these tickets, but they have cash ready in hand. Once they hit a bonus, they cash out and insert cash. Okay, the cash in, cash out strategy. The next Dragon Link strategy is, again, it has to do with hitting bonuses. Once you hit a bonus, don't do a respin. Okay, I like to call this one changing machines right away. Once you get a bonus, don't even do backups. And a lot of people do this as well. You know, how many times you sit in a machine, you change your denom, you cash, you're starting to play the machine, you put in your money, and all of a sudden you open up the window and it's a bonus window. Someone just hit the bonus and they left without doing any backups. They just used that changing machine right away strategy. Hit a bonus and move. Hit a bonus and move. Hit a bonus and move to another machine. It works. If it doesn't, I like to do a couple of backup spins, no matter how big or how small the bonus is. I might change machines, I might change denoms, but I don't move right away just in case. You know how many times you have back-to-back bonuses? You never know. It won't cost you that much. A couple of backup spins. But that's the changing machine strategy. Now, I have another strategy for you guys on Dragon Link. This involves changing machines even if you lose strategy 5 spins in. Now, this will work if you're chasing a hot machine right away without digging in, okay? So basically what this entails is, first of all, the casino floor, the slot aisle needs to be empty or almost empty for you to be able to do this right away on a consistent time frame. Nothing happens, you move machines right away. You go for another machine, 5 or 6 spins, same denomination, same bet amount. Nothing happens, you move to another machine. You don't spend time on that same machine changing denoms or whatever. That's a very strict strategy where people just go from machine to machine to machine to machine, chasing that hot machine, quote unquote, hot machine, right? Now, like I said, guys, I feel a certain way about some of these strategies and the real deal nature of how slot machines work. They might go against the grain of how these slot machines really work. However, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try these things. You're just chasing what's going to give you money. That's the whole strategy here. Ultimately, you're going after the machine that's going to pay out and it's going to put you in a profit. So I understand that it makes people feel better. I understand that this is the strategy that you believe in. I have my own little belief system when it comes to slot machines. I use these from time to time. It's kind of like a fun experiment to try out. And why not? Try it out. See what works for you. Okay, guys? The next strategy is you start with 50-cent minimum bets. Right when you hit a bonus, you move on to the dollar spin, which is X2 multiplier. The next button over, same denom. Play until you hit a bonus. Then you move on to the 3x multiplier, 5x multiplier, 10x multiplier until you hit a bonus on each spin amount. Makes sense? Now, this can be a little tricky and dangerous. You might run out of money when you hit that max bet multiplier. Try it out with the minimum slot Dragon Link machines, which is the general room ones. See how it works. The max bet will be $5, so spin it until you hit a bonus. That's how this strategy works. Spin until a bonus generates. Now, you might not get a bonus, and the best thing to do is if you don't get a bonus, cash out, or there's nothing to cash out. But if you play till the end of the credits are over, then just change machines. Don't put another $100 in that same machine that hasn't give you no bonuses, within that $100 that you put in the machine. You put in $100 in the machine, you're betting $5 a spin. That's 20 spins. Gauge the slot machine with that 20 spins. Okay. Sometimes I put another 100 just to see if anything changes. Maybe I change the denom. The next strategy is never bet a minimum bet amount. Now, I'm a big firm believer in this. If you haven't watched that video that I put out a couple of weeks ago, it actually did very well. I'll put all the links above. You want to check these videos out. This one entails never betting a minimum bet. Now, this is a very easy strategy, okay? One that like I said, I believe in the most. Never bet minimum bet. How it works, let's say you are betting $1 and that's where you feel comfortable and you find yourself on the 2-cent denomination minimum bet $1 spin. Instead of doing that, go to 1-cent denom, bet X2 and bet that same dollar. Yes, your minors will be smaller, your minis will be smaller. So what? I'd rather do that X2 multiplier than versus minimum bet. Same rule applies with 10-cent betting 250 or 5-cent betting 250. That's 2x multiplier. Same thing applies with $5 minimum bet or $5 max bet 1 cent or 2 cent, or you get the idea here. Now, having said that, I really love the $5 spin on a $1 denom. Same Dragon Link machine. Why I like that? It's exciting for me. I'm betting $5 and I have a chance to hit $1,250 minor on a minimum bet. I like that. I try that out. I'm not saying never try minimum bets. That's not what I'm saying, because play around with it. Maybe minimum bets you're hitting something. But that strategy is very popular. I use that strategy. I try to stay away from the minimum bet on these Dragon Link machines as much as possible. As much as possible. Obviously, the $2 denom, the minimum is $10, and that's a big bet for that machine. And that, in some people's cases, that's a very high amount, okay, to bet. Now, which brings me to the next strategy. If you're already betting $5 or $10 in a general room, smaller bet Dragon Link machine, the low level Dragon Link machine, would you be better off betting $5 or $10 in a high limit room where the majors are higher? That's another strategy that people have. Instead of going for $5 or $10 spins in the general low-level Dragon Link, they rather bet that same amount in a high limit room. Okay, that's cool. Going for that high major strategy, that's called. Going for that high major, same bets, but again, you'll be betting very small on that high level, high limit machine versus betting medium size in the low level machine. That's a strategy that people rather play, going for that the higher major. Now keep in mind, the $5 dollar denom minor will be smaller than the $1 minimum bet minor in the general room. Okay, keep that in mind. It's $12.50 over there. It's $500 in the high limit room. So there are different types of Dragon Link machines that I see with a 2.55 minimum bet. Usually that's a really good machine to play because the majors are like high limit room majors, but it's a 2.55 denom machine. You see those? I see those all the time. Okay, if you're after those high majors, try that Dragon Link out. Other strategies that people use that I kind of disagree with, slapping buttons while in a bonus. I don't know about that one. Just keep pressing the spin button while in a bonus. I don't like that one, but if it makes you feel better, try it. Another strategy that people use, and sometimes I use this as well, is the fast tap strategy. It entails 3 regular spins without stopping the spins quick, and then 3 fast spins, dot, and then rinse and repeat. 3 regular spins, 3 fast tap spins. And this other strategy that's similar to this as fast tapping random spots. Like let's say you do 1 full spin, then you do 2 fast spins. You do 2 regular spins, then you do 1 fast spins. It's a combination of how you feel. I like to call that the improvising strategy. You're improvising, kind of like playing a musical instrument. You're improvising. 2 fast spins here, 1 regular spin, 3 fast spins here, boom, boom, boom. You hear it, you hit the bonuses, and then you continue improvising. The next strategy on Dragon Link is a super improvisation strategy. What does that entail? Free flowing, you're just a floater, no strategy involved, there's no thinking involved. People just do whatever on these machines. You might want to hit one, boom, they move on to the next. You're just free flowing at this time. Not really thinking what you're doing, but betting within the bet amount that you want to bet, but just doing 2 spins here, 1 spin there, doesn't really matter. I'll switch this denomination, doesn't work. You're basically just improvising, and you're basically just, having fun with it, Those are the most popular strategies. I will be using these in videos in the future when I'm actually sitting in front of a machine. I did one. The first strategy on Dragon Link that I mentioned in this video, I actually did that on the $100 in video that I have. Again, the link is up here. These are my Dragon Link strategies. What are your Dragon Link strategies? I would like to hear. Leave it in the comments. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree with some of these strategies and some of these slot methods on Dragon Link. Obviously, I have a different strategy for different type of machines, like the triple pop machines. I don't really play them the same way as I play Dragon Link machines. I think the triple pop machines work a little differently in my view. I happen to notice with the triple pops, when I say triple pop, I mean, like Mo Mummy and games like that, where you have perceived progressions on the screen. I find those machines to hit more frequently when you're betting minimum bet for some reason. When you're betting a little bit higher, they hit less frequent. I don't know what it is with these triple pops. Maybe I haven't spent more time playing them. I like these machines. I'm not a super fan of these machines, but I like these machines. They're super volatile machines. And when you do get in a really good bonus, they sometimes pay off, in spades. But sometimes it's disappointing. You finally get the mummy running across the floor, and it's disappointing. So different strategies for different machines. Now, I say strategies, take it like a grain of salt. Like I said, spins are totally random. They are. but sometimes you might trigger something using this. You never know, man. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I don't make these machines. I'm just reporting. I'm just showing you what I've experienced many years playing these machines. Someone commented, Alice, you commented. I remember your screen name because it was a great YouTube handle. It was Alice Not in Wonderland. She commented saying, "Thank you for your education on the slot methods that you're teaching us." I go, hold on a minute. Wait a minute, Alice in Wonderland. This is really, I don't like to classify this as education. I like to classify this as reporting, showing you examples, a little bit of insight on what you can do to improve your odds. Some of these strategies I mentioned, from my opinion, has improved my odds on hitting a bonus. Okay, like the multiplier strategy that I made a video on that I mentioned earlier. That's different. I don't mind that. I think it improves your odds. So yeah, Alice Not in Wonderland, it is somewhat of education, if you want to call it that. I want to thank you guys. We're approaching 3,000 subscribers in very little time. Today is August. We're not in August. It's September 26th. Today is my 1 month anniversary where I launched and published my first video on this channel. So today is my official 1 month anniversary of Storytime Slots, and I'm approaching 3,000 subscribers in 1 month. I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, I'm humbled, I'm shocked, I'm happy. I'm grateful for all you guys that have subscribed to my channel, that leave comments. I tell stories here. I go to the casino. I show you guys how I play sometimes. We talk about gaming, gambling, slot machines. We talk about all that here. And we have fun on here. I have daily Storytime Slots, tip of the day videos it's like an informal 30-second to 1 minute short, that I do every day. When I'm recording my gameplay in these casinos, it's different when you're recording it and you're doing commentary. You're in the zone and you're all into it. You're just singing, you're laughing. You want to put on a good show, like in show business, right? The entertainment business. But sometimes you just want to go off camera and just get a drink, and I'm playing these machines, right? And sometimes I hit a bonus. These are the videos that I put up in shorts where I just grab my camera and I record the bonus round, which I did today. I just uploaded a $1,000 mini video on a Dragon Link that I hit off camera, but I got the chance to record the spin round for a short. I do that sometimes. So because sometimes you just want to be off camera and just play casually. I like to call it casual playing without putting on a show for you guys. Is this show business? The gambling show business. So yeah, that's what it is, guys. I do those kind of contents. I do the Storytimes tip of the day videos, the long form content. I appreciate all you guys. This is my 1 month anniversary. Like I said, I want to thank each and every one of you. 1 second. Sorry, guys, I had to pick that up. But what was I saying, guys? Oh yeah. Storytime Slots. It's my 1 month anniversary. I upload different types of content here. As you see, if you're new to the channel, check it out. I have so many ideas for this channel, guys, that I haven't yet done, and I'm pretty excited to do. 3,000 subscribers in a month. Today's 1 month anniversary, and I'm super excited to have all of you here and to move forward with what's to come here, because I got ideas, man. I got ideas, and I love hearing from you guys. All you guys comment. I respond to most of them, if not all of them. I read all the comments. Obviously, if this thing blows up even further, obviously I'm probably not going to have time to comment on all the comments I get, but I definitely will read all the comments that I get, even the bad ones. Okay, because YouTube has this little thing where you go and there's some inappropriate things said that is not published. It's funny. I find it funny. Anyway, not to veer off on too much of a tangent, but I just want to show my appreciation. Thank you guys for watching my content, liking the stories. I tell stories here sometimes, and I'm just having fun here. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. My Dragon Link, Dragon Cash methods, strategies, whatever you want to call this video, those are the most popular in my book. There's more, which we'll go into in future videos. You don't want to miss what I have to say, what I have to show you in future videos. So like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Storytime Slots. I'm Vahagan. And yeah, you know, I treat this as a hobby, the casino thing as a hobby. I always gamble responsibly. I gamble for entertainment. And so should you guys. You know, don't go there expecting to pay your bills or whatnot. It doesn't work. You know, go there with the least expectations, and that's when I usually hit. I'll make a separate video on this because this topic is important. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share this video with your gambling friends. If you have cousins, relatives, uncles, grandparents that love this genre of gambling and they appreciate and they love watching YouTube slot influencers play, introduce them to Storytime Slots. You know, I might not be the best channel out there or the biggest channel out there. I got my own very unique way of being on camera, but they might like it. You know, they might like what I have to say. So introduce them to my channel. Share these videos. I love talking. Yeah. A lot of good things to come on this channel. Storytime Slots, tip of the day. Subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah. And rock and roll. Go out there, Dragon Link machines. I hope you hit this big grand, guys. There's a song in the 80s. You know this song? I was struck by lightning. Who could ask for more? I love the 80s. I love everything about the 80s. Movies, music, the time period. Can we go back in time? I'm talking about something else, right? This is supposed to be a Dragon Link slot strategy video. Oops. Dun dun dun. Let's see on the next one. You gotta love when this happens.